Yo hablo español. Yo hablé. Yo hablaré. Yo hablaría. Yo he hablado. Yo estoy hablando. These are all verb tenses. Welcome to the 8 essential verb tenses workshop. And why is this important? Because there are over 200 ways to conjugate one verb in Spanish. That's a lot more than English. So we're going to boil it down to the top 8 and show you how to do them. This is a massive workshop, but a great overview of a very challenging topic. So in 1 hour, you're going to learn so much and have a much better idea of what Spanish is all about. This is key. Check it out. And then at the end, we'll give you some opportunities for some free study tips, study resources, more information about our program. So wait till the end for those special offers. See you in the video. Vamos! But we're here for verb tenses. Okay. So I know some of you I don't. All right. So just put in the chat, just for everybody, where in Latin America where you're from and where in Latin America you use your Spanish. Okay, or Spain, I guess. There might be some of you from Spain. Where are you from and where in Latin America or Spain you use your Spanish? Or where in the world you use your Spanish? Okay. So we got someone else just joined us. Charlotte, welcome, Charlotte. Bienvenida. Okay, we're just in the chat now. Just say hi, just say where you're from and where in the world you use your Spanish. Okay. All right. Muy bien. So we've got Sharon from Alberta, and she uses it in Mexico. Roberta is Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. Okay. Judith from California and spends time in Mérida. Troy lives in Barra de Navidad for 6 months every year. Awesome. In Mexico. Charlotte is from France. Awesome. Okay, living in Mérida. All right. So cool. We have a lot of students who speak French. Usually they're Canadian. And French is very helpful to learning Spanish. There's a lot of similarities, but at first, it can help you understand if you speak. How many of you speak French or Italian? Anybody? Okay, just Charlotte. So if anyone's watching this replay who speaks, French or Italian or Portuguese, it can be very helpful for understanding Spanish, but can actually become confusing trying to learn to speak Spanish. Okay, because they're so similar, a lot of similar words. So you thinking you're French and they don't understand you, right? So, but it is helpful for understanding them. All right, good. Here we go. And Sharon says Heather is from British Columbia. All right, awesome, you guys. Cool. So what we're doing today is called the 8 Essential Verb Tenses Workshop. This is a huge workshop. I'm giving you guys a lot of knowledge today. I do that not because it's practical, but because it attracts people, because people are excited by the idea of learning 8 verb tenses in one day. That sounds really awesome, but this is literally like 4 years of high school Spanish, maybe 3. Okay, you're not going to master this today, but what it's going to give you is a roadmap of where you're going. Okay, what you need to learn. All right, it's just the tip of the iceberg, but I want you to come away from this workshop with this knowledge in your head so that you'll start recognizing these things more easily. You'll start recognizing the verbs and the verb tenses as you're out and about, or maybe doing some watching some movies with some subtitles or things like that, maybe trying to read a newspaper or something. You'll start recognizing these verbs and verb tenses. Okay, in order to master them, it requires studying and practice, 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 and which we do in our program. We have our free workshop once a week in our group. If you're not there, here it is, our free group. Okay, this is our team: Ali, Marilyn, Magda, and David. Okay. All of us are very experienced teachers. We've taught for decades with every level of Spanish. There's nothing we don't know about Spanish. And so we're a great team to help you. This free workshop is like kind of a roadmap, help give you some guidance, give you some good information, give you some good knowledge. If you want to master it this year, highly recommend you send me a message and we talk. We have our private group where we do classes and practice every day here. Okay, so we have lots and lots of live classes, community events, fun activities, all kind of stuff going on every single day in our private group. Okay, and that's important. Practice, 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 not just knowledge. So you're getting a lecture right now, you're getting some practice and some guidance about what it is you need. Okay, so awesome. All right, if you have any questions during the workshop, shoot them in the chat. Okay, and I will try to answer, I will answer everybody's questions. All right, so before we start, just tell me 1 to 10, what do you think is your level of Spanish? And how long have you been studying Spanish? Okay, 1 to 10, estimate. What is your level of Spanish? And how long have you been studying Spanish? Okay, there is no wrong or right answer. I just need to know ballpark. Okay, one very challenging thing about these workshops are great because we can help a lot of people. What's challenging on a workshop like this is working with so many different levels of people out of the blue. Okay, so I just want to put this in perspective. If you're in our program, we have a step-by-step process to build you up to these skills. Today, we're going to work with people of all different levels. So if you're a little more advanced or beginner, just be patient. Just take in the knowledge. I recommend you have a paper and pencil and take notes. We will record it, but handwriting, taking notes helps you remember things. Okay, be proactive learner. Okay, good. So we're getting some answers. Judith says level 4, 9 years. Awesome. Sharon, level 3, 5 years. Okay. Troy, level 2, studying for about a year. Carolyn, level 3, 3 months. Roberta, level 4, on and off for a year. And Charlotte, level 6, studied 8 years in school and then didn't practice. Okay, cool. So you guys have been averaging, except for Carolyn, 1 or more years. Okay, some of you up to 8, 9 years. All right, and this is very, very common to be, trying to get conversational after 1, 2, even 10 years. This is normal. What is your goal? Put it in the chat. I want to know, what is your goal with Spanish? What do you want to achieve that you haven't achieved yet? What do you want to achieve with Spanish? Okay, let's talk about your goals, because what happens is, while you're typing that, what happens is 99% of students go into Spanish with 0 plan, and they just pick some tutor or app like Duolingo or local class that looks good, and they just start, and they assume all all things are equal. I'm just going to study Spanish and one day I'll learn Spanish. And that's not the case. There's different levels of Spanish, and different levels require different approaches. Different goals require different approaches. And so we focus on conversational, and I differentiate it from what I call survival Spanish. And it's a very different world. It'd be the difference of learning how to play a song on the piano versus learning how to play improv jazz. They're two different worlds, okay? So you need different approaches, all right? So we've got Charlotte, Troy wants to become fluent. Awesome. Roberta, conversation. Sharon, speak in more than 3 stages of verbs. Okay. And Charlotte, to feel more confident, interact more naturally, and become fluent. Judith, fluency, conversation, reading, writing. All right. It's a lifetime project. Okay. Awesome. Okay. And visualize not just what my goal is, I want to be fluent or conversational, but what you'll actually do with that. What's that going to look like in your life? Tell me what person or experience you'd like to have if you reach that goal. So put in the chat one experience if you reach that goal that you just told me you're really excited about. Like, woo, if I hit that goal, I'd be able to talk to this person or make these friends or maybe get a relationship or volunteer or have work opportunities or travel opportunities. What is Spanish going to give you? Because we as people are not motivated by getting a piece of paper, right? What we're motivated by is experiences, okay? And that's what Spanish gives you. All this stuff, why you're here on this workshop today studying grammar, right? Nobody loves grammar. Maybe somebody loves grammar, but most people don't love grammar, right? You got to tap into your why. Why are you studying? Why are you working hard? Why are you flipping through Duolingo? Okay, this is mindset, and you've got to tap into your why so that you know why you're working hard every day. Okay, so Judith, so Carolyn, having a conversation with people. Okay, so Charlotte, communicate with my boyfriend's family, break the language barrier. That's huge, right? In-laws or family, right? Relationships with your boyfriend, your spouse, partner is huge, right? There's so much opportunity there to have fun. Speak with locals, handle situations in the office like appointments. Yes, makes your life a lot easier. Okay, Roberta, Carolyn, planning to move to Mexico in August, wants to be able to communicate with the community. Yeah. Troy, ability to speak with my Spanish friends, go shopping. Okay. Judith, have in-depth conversations. Yeah. There's 500 million Spanish speakers in the world. That's a lot of great people to meet. Okay. So good. We've tapped in. We're warmed up. We know why we're here. Let's dive into the workshop. All right. Here we go. Let's do it. First and foremost, you all, no one's a total beginner here, so that's great. But a verb is an action word. Okay. So to eat, to sleep, to walk, to talk, etc., etc. All right. So that's what we're talking about, verbs, and we're going to show you why these are so important. All right. But let's do a little quiz with everybody. Okay. I talk. Okay. I talk. Everyone in the chat, I talk. All right. You don't need to say I, yo. Okay. I know it's yo. All right. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to come up with the answer. Okay. If you don't know it, you don't know it. All right. All right. Cool. Hablo. Good. I talked yesterday. I talked. One, 4, 3. Hablé. Hablé. Good. I talked every day. I talked every day. Okay. It's different. It's different. It's not the same. Hablé, I talked yesterday. We use something different for I talked every day. What is it? It is something different. 3, 2, 1. Hablaba. No hablaba. All right. These are the two past tenses. We only have one in English. I will talk. I will talk. Charlotte, good. I will talk. Hablaré. I would talk. I would talk. No. 3, 2, 1. Hablaría. Whoops. Good. Good. I have talked. I have talked. There we go. I have talked. I have talked. 3, 2, 1. He hablado. I am talking. Okay, I am talking. Good, good, good. Estoy hablando. I have been talking. I have been talking. He estado hablando. Good. All right. These are the 8 tenses we're going to talk about today. Okay, right here. If you know these 8 tenses, you can understand every tense verb in Spanish, verb tense in Spanish. All right. These 8 will give you enough to understand everything and express everything you need to express. All right. There are more tenses in Spanish. There are actually 34 altogether. But these 8 will give you enough to understand and express everything. Okay. Bonus, talk. Talk. Tell somebody to talk. Okay. Habla. Don't talk. Don't talk. All right. These are tenses we're not going to cover today. They're useful, called the imperative and the subjunctive tenses. But with some little tips, you can learn very quickly just enough to understand these very easily if you know these 8 tenses already. No hables. No hables. I hope that you talk, and I'll give you a hint here. Yo espero que tú. I give you the first part of the sentence. I hope that you. Yo espero que tú. Okay. I hope that you talk, Judith. I hope that you talk. Not eat. Okay. Hables. Yo espero que tú hables. I hope that you talked. I hope that you talked to the teacher about your Spanish. Yo espero que tú. I hope that you talked. All right. Hablaras. Okay. Those last 2 are called subjunctive. We don't have them in English. Charlotte knows them from French. Okay. These two are called the imperative. Okay. So again, we're not going to cover the imperative or subjunctive today, but I just want you to be aware that they exist. Okay. But if you know these 8, you can easily understand these guys. All right. And you can easily express what you need to express without knowing those guys. Okay. Cool. How did you do out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, 11, 12? Out of 12, how many did you get? Confidently get? How many did you confidently get? Like, yes. Because if you got it with a big question mark in your head, then that's not what we want. We want confident. Okay. All right. Charlotte, 6. Judith, 11. Wow. Sharon, 2. Roberta, 4. Carolyn, 4. Okay. Nice. All right. So, you guys, this is one of the biggest reasons you guys haven't reached your goal yet. If you've studied for a year, 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, 9 years, this right here is one of the biggest reasons you haven't reached your goal, because you don't have enough verb tenses. All right. To go along with that, you need a lot of verbs. You need a lot of verbs and a lot of verb tenses. Okay. And so I want to talk about why. And if you've seen all of my workshops, I almost always talk about this. So I apologize if it's redundant, but some of you haven't. Some of you are seeing this replay for the first time. It's really important to understand, and then we'll dive right in to our studies. Okay. This is a sentence. I went to the beach with my friends. Okay. Conversation is just a bunch of sentences. Okay. Every sentence I could divide into 3 parts. I call them the verbs. So I went. The glue words, which is my own phrase. So there's some glue words. To the beach, vocabulary. So verbs, glue words, and vocabulary. Every sentence you give me, I separate it into these 3 categories. So with those go in the glue words, and friends, vocabulary. Yo fui a la playa con mis amigos. Verbs, glue words, vocabulary, glue words, vocabulary. All right. So if I want to go to a restaurant and order some food and get a taxi, and I just want to go to Cancun for a week to survival Spanish, what will help me the most? The verbs, the glue words, or the vocabulary? What will help me the most? If you know the answer, because you've seen this before, you
vocabulary.
Can skip it. Okay. So type it in the chat. What do you think will help the most? Okay. If you have to pick one, verbs, glue words, or vocabulary, what will help you the most to eat at a restaurant, order food, get a taxi? Okay. The answer is vocabulary, 100%. If I'm in a restaurant and I don't know anything else, at least I can say agua, cerveza, carne, verduras. All right. Vocabulary. If I'm in a taxi, I can say hotel, restaurante, playa. So vocabulary is the king of survival Spanish. Okay. Now, if I flip that around, if I want to understand my neighbor who's going blah, 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 blah. Okay. What is going to help me understand them the most? Okay. Verbs, glue words, or vocabulary? Verbs, glue words, or vocabulary. If I want to understand my neighbor talking, blah, 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 or if I want to understand the TV, the radio, right? What's going to help me the most out of those 3? The answer is verbs. And here's why. Number 1, you can't make a sentence without a verb. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, if I were to give you 1,000 words and say, here's Spanish, go learn it, what would you put on top? Probably the words you hear the most. So hola will go before elefante. Okay. So how many times today did you hear the word beach? 1, 2, if maybe 5 times, maybe. How many times today did you hear the word friends? Okay. How many times today did you hear go? Did you go? I went. Have you gone? I've gone. Are you going? I'm going. What are you going to do? I'm going to eat. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to work. When are you going to work? I'm going in a few minutes. Go. All right. How many times did you hear to or the today? All the time. So this sentence has 8 words in it. 2 of them are vocabulary. That means 6 of them are not. That means 80% of blah, 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 blah is not vocabulary. But what all of you have probably been doing for years and years is learning a lot of vocabulary and not enough verbs and glue words. And that's why you're not conversational, because conversational Spanish, 80% of it is verbs and glue words. You could learn every vocabulary, noun, and adjective. And when I say vocabulary, I mean nouns and adjectives. I didn't say that. Okay. The beach, the beautiful beach. Okay. If I say beach, nice, or hair, long, or food, delicious, that's what I call caveman Spanish. Okay. You could learn every noun and adjective in the dictionary and still speak caveman Spanish. All right. 80% of conversational Spanish is verbs and glue words. And the good thing is that there are only 200 verbs that you really need all the time and 200 glue words that you really need all the time. And I would rather learn 80% of Spanish in 20% of the time before learning 20% of Spanish in 80% of the time. Okay, that's what you guys have essentially been doing all your lives. You've been learning 20% of Spanish 80% of the time. All right, and you're missing. And what I would add is not just verbs, but verb tenses that I showed you. All right, so this is why people get stuck at survival Spanish and they don't get conversational. They don't have enough verbs, verb tenses, and glue words. All right, here we go. You guys ready to do some verbs, verb tenses? Learn these 8 guys. Okay, here we go. Okay, very simple. All right, what is verb conjugation? It means changing the verb. This is an unconjugated verb, to eat, comer. All right, then you add a subject, then you change the verb, and then you can add whatever you want. I eat pizza. Okay, so comer becomes como. So you all probably know that. Conjugation means changing the verbs. Okay, so this is why Spanish is so difficult, because there are 200 ways to say one verb in Spanish. All right, that makes it hard. So we need to simplify this down. How are we going to simplify it? The first thing I've done is by limiting 34 tenses down to 8. Okay, so that's the first thing. All right, you need these 5 that I call the base tenses. This one, progressive. This one, the perfect tense. And this one, the perfect progressive. If you know those 8, you'll be able to understand all 34. Okay, for example, if I say espero que hables, none of you knew that it was hables, but you understood you could understand it even though you didn't know why it was hables instead of hablas. Okay, so you don't need to know these guys. If you know these guys, you'll understand the other guys. Okay, it won't make you perfectly fluent at Spanish, but it'll make you conversational. All right, fluency will require getting all the tenses. Okay, all right, so the traditional way to teach conjugation is something like this. How many of you have seen a chart that looks like this? Okay, yo, tú, usted, él, ella, ellos, ellas, ustedes, nosotros. Everyone seen that chart? Okay, yo como, tú comes, usted come, él come, ella come, ellos comen, ellas comen, ustedes comen, nosotros comemos. All right, this is all well and good. All right, but there's a better way to organize conjugation. All right, because even though these are useful, you have to know these. Okay. They're not the only subjects in the world. Anything can be a subject, not just people. All right. The dog, the cat, the house, the car, the bush. The bush is big. The house is green. The car goes fast. The sky is blue. The ocean looks beautiful. You don't have to be a person to be a subject. So we don't limit ourselves to these guys here. All right. The better way is to organize it here. Yo, tú, singular, plural, nosotros. Okay? Every subject in Spanish falls under one of those 5 categories. Okay? Every subject in Spanish has to fall under one of those categories. You have a subject and a verb. Every verb has a subject. All right? So, yo is I. Tú is you. Singular is any subject singular that's not yo or tú. All right. So that could be the dog, the cat, my friend, my neighbor, my sister, my brother, the beach, the ocean, the bird, the bee. Okay. All right. The dog eats, my friend eats, mi amigo come, el perro come. Okay, el gato come, mi vecino come, mi padre come. Anything singular is come. Plural is anything plural that's not nosotros. All right, it could be my friends, the dogs, the cats, the houses, the cars, the trees, the birds, the bees, my neighbors, my parents, etc., etc., etc. Anything plural that's not nosotros is comen. Okay, so my friends eat. Mis amigos comen. Okay. My neighbors eat. Mis vecinos comen. Mis padres comen. Mis hermanos comen. Los perros comen. Los gatos comen. Okay. So, super important. Yo, tú, singular, plural, nosotros. That's the 5 categories of subject. All right. Every verb in every tense for your entire Spanish life will be those 5 subjects. If I go back here, okay, you can see that. Yo, tú, singular, plural, nosotros. On the right-hand side, you see something that says vosotros. All right. Vosotros is the equivalent of tú in Spain. Okay, and we're not going to cover that because I never learned it. To be honest with you, I lived in Spain for many different occasions, and I never once used vosotros. I used tú every single time, and I was fine. Okay, I understood them, and they understood me, just as if a Mexican went to Spain, he would not use vosotros either. He'd use tú, right? So you don't need to learn vosotros unless you're only planning to live in Spain. Okay. All right. Cool. Any questions on subject? All right. So you have I eat, yo como. You eat, tú comes. Usted come, él come, ella come, mi amigo come. Singular. All singular. All right. Even though usted and tú mean the same thing, usted goes in the singular box. Okay. Tú is its own box. All right. Ellos comen, ellas comen, mis amigos comen, ustedes comen, plural, 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 plural. And then nosotros comemos. And there's actually, I never use this because I'm a guy, so I would never have to say this. But if you're a group of women, nosotras comemos. Okay. I just always forget to mention it because I'm a guy and I literally will never say that in my life. Right? But if it's a group of females, you say nosotras. Okay? Good. Any questions on subject? All right. The foundation, subject, verb. All good? This is all pretty review for you? Okay. Here we go. All right. Now, next tip that I'm giving you. Before I teach you the conjugations, there is a secret to learning a lot of verbs, and you should learn a lot of verbs. And the way you learn a lot of verbs quickly before learning conjugation is what I call the magic verbs. Okay? A magic verb is like this: to need to eat. I need to eat. Yo necesito comer. Okay? Yo necesito comer. All right? I need to eat. Why is it magic? Because comer is unconjugated, to eat. All right? I want to eat. Quiero comer. I'm going to eat. Voy a comer. So what's so great about magic verbs is that you can put any verb after them without conjugating it. So if you can learn one magic verb, you can use it with all the other verbs in the Spanish language without conjugation. All right? So let me show you what that looks like. Right here, see all these verbs: to answer, to arrive, to ask for something. I'm going to answer the phone. Yo voy a contestar el teléfono. I'm going to arrive at the airport. Yo voy a llegar al aeropuerto. Okay? So this, if you learn a few magic verbs, and I have a magic verbs workshop in the Facebook group, you should go check it out. If you learn some magic verbs, they are very useful. Now you can start studying verbs, hundreds and hundreds of verbs, without having to conjugate. All right, so that's a nice beginner's tip for learning a lot of verbs and using them. Okay? You should learn lots and lots of verbs. The more verbs you know, the better. Okay? Muy bien. All right, here we go. Let's start the 8 essential verb tenses. All right, this is 4 years of high school Spanish rolled up into 45 minutes. All right. I have up to 2 hours time, so up to 1 o'clock I can go Pacific time. So if you guys have to jump off at any point, we will have the replay. It will be posted in the group. Okay. If you guys have questions about your Spanish, send me a message. All right. After the class. All right. So here we go. We're going. First verb tense. All right. The first thing you might notice is I didn't start us with the present tense. Okay. How many of you started Spanish with the present tense? All right. Well, guess what? I've got bad news and good news for you. You started with the hardest tense to learn. You started with the hardest tense to learn and you didn't know that. The reason why is because the present tense has the most irregulars, meaning verbs that don't follow the rules. So if you learn the rules of the present tense, there's still hundreds of verbs that don't follow the rules that you have to memorize separately. Okay, so we're going to start with an easier verb tense to learn. This is called the past tense, or the past imperfecto, to be exact. All right, so I'm going to zoom in right here. Okay, so how to conjugate a verb? There's 3 steps. In English, step 1, delete the 2. Step 2, add a subject. Step 3, add an ending. Okay. In Spanish, it's very similar. All right. The only difference is they don't have to. All right. They don't have to. So instead of saying to talk, they just say hablar. Okay. They don't use to with their verbs. They just say hablar. All right. So what they do is they delete their ending. That's their first step. Delete the ending. Add a subject. And then add a new ending. So for the past tense, the ending is aba. If it's an AR verb, the ending is aba. Hablar becomes hablaba. Yo hablaba. Okay? So all the AR verbs are going to be aba. All right? I walked, I talked, I ate, I drank, I watched, I did this, I did that. All the AR verbs are going to be changed to aba. Hablar, hablaba. Okay? All of the ER verbs, like comer, are going to be ia. You delete the ending, add a subject, and then ia. Comer becomes comía. I ate. Yo comía. And the IR verbs like vivir are going to also be ia. Vivir, vivía. Yo vivía. So you basically have two options. Aba, ia. Aba, ia. Everybody say that out loud. Aba, ia. Aba, ia. Aba, ia. Aba, ia. Okay? Any verb I give you, it's either going to end in aba or ia. Those are your two choices. If it's an AR verb, it's aba. If it's an IR or ER verb, it's ia. All right? Here we go. Yo mirar, I looked. I looked. Everyone write it in the chat. I looked. What would it be? Yo, I looked. All right. Good. Charlotte, I think you have a typo there. All right. Good, Judith. Roberta, I think you have a typo. Sharon, good. Troy, good. All right. Yes. Miraba. Cocinar, to cook. I cooked. How would you say I cooked? I cooked. Everyone's getting it. Judith, typo. All right. Good job, Troy. Sharon, good. Cocinaba, I cooked. Yo cocinaba. Beber, I drank. To drink. I drank. Yo. Okay. Good, Charlotte, Judith, Troy. Sharon. Sharon knows how to use the accent. Good job. Bebia. Good. Abrir, to open. I opened. I opened. I opened. All right. Charlotte, Judith, Carolyn, Roberta, Troy. Okay. Yo abría. Yes. Conseguir. How about this one? Conseguir. I got. To get. Conseguir means to get. I got. Conseguir. Troy, not quite. Check again. Good, good, good. All right. So Troy, do you see what you got wrong? Okay, delete the ending, haría. Conseguía. Good. All right, now, like we said, there's 5 subjects, right? We talked about the 5 subjects. Okay. So, how would you do pedir, to order? How would you do you ordered? You ordered. You ordered. And you just need to put the verb. You don't need to write to. You ordered. All right. Look at your chart. Look at your chart. I'm seeing a few mistakes. Okay. The subject, is it yo, tú, singular, plural, or nosotros? All right. Good, Troy. Sharon, is it yo, tú, singular, plural, or nosotros? What is the subject? The subject is tú. Okay, so that means the ending is ias. Pedir becomes pedías. You ordered. Do you see that, Sharon? Okay, so I talked, yo hablaba. You talked, tú hablabas. My friend talked, mi amigo hablaba. Okay, my friends talked, mis amigos hablaban. We talked, nosotros hablábamos. I ate, yo comía. You ate, tú comías. My friend ate, mi amigo comía. My friends ate, mis amigos comían. We ate, nosotros comíamos. I lived, yo vivía. You lived, tú vivías. My friend lived, mi amigo vivía. My friends lived, mis amigos vivían. We lived, nosotros vivíamos. Okay. In our program, we have classes, but we also have videos and flashcards. They will look like this. Past imperfecto. Okay. So you would practice like this. So plural contestar. All right. Plural contestar. So plural would mean like my friends, mis amigos. My friends answered. My friends answered. My friends answered. How would you say my friends answered? I just need the verb. You don't need to write mis amigos. My friends answered. Mis amigos, contestar, mis amigos. Okay. How would you say my friends answered? All right. Judith is in. Sharon is in. Roberta is in. Charlotte is in. Okay. Troy. Okay. All right. So Troy, is the subject yo, tú, singular, plural, or nosotros? So you have to make sure you're also aware of the subject. Okay. Good.
Plural contestaban.
Plural, my friends answered. Mis amigos contestaban. Okay. The reason I just put to answer here is because when I created this is just conjugation here. Okay. I'm not, when I put the Excel spreadsheets and stuff, it was impossible to do it any different way. After you get it, then I have sentences. Okay.
Juan came to the supermarket.
Yo perdía la cartera.
I lost the wallet.
So right here, this set of flashcards is purely about conjugation, and the next set of flashcards is about putting them in sentences. Okay. All right. You found. Encontrar, to find, you found. All right, good.
Tú encontrabas.
Tú encontrabas, you found. All right. Perfect. Okay, so that is where I'm going to stop with that tense, the imperfect, past imperfecto. Okay, you can see how you need practice to get it muscle memory, right? To get it fast, you need repetition, repetition, repetition. First, you need to get good at conjugating it, and then the next step will be putting it into conversation, into real sentences, right? So this is just the baby step of getting the knowledge, right? But turning that knowledge into conversation requires practice, 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 practice. Okay, cool. So this is one of the 8 verb tenses you need, and you learned it in about 15 minutes, maybe 10. Okay, which is awesome. All right, so down below is what are called the irregulars, meaning they don't follow the rules. Okay, which is why we don't like them. All right, because they don't follow the rules. For example, to go, ir, it should be ia, but it's iba. I went, yo iba. Okay, ser, it should be sia, but it's era, yo era, I was, yo era un doctor. Okay, ver should be via, but it's veia. All right, and there's you just have to memorize it. There's no rhyme or reason. They're just called irregulars. Okay, so the irregulars are what make Spanish difficult. Now, out of 1,000 verbs, how many do you think are irregular in the past tense here? In the past imperfecto, out of 1,000, do you think it's 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 500 out of 1,000? Charlotte guesses about 20. Okay. All right. Sharon says 25. All right, out of 1,000, we'll give a prize. Whoever gets closest gets a free something. I'll think of something good. I'll give you something good. You guys can I'll send you a link to one of our flashcards. All right, but I don't count the people who know the answer, so you're not part of this. The answer is 3. Okay, so I think Charlotte got the closest with 20. All right, so Charlotte, I can give you a prize. I can send you a free set of flashcards. Okay, just remind me after the thing. Okay, cool. Right here, you're looking at it. Those are the only 3 irregulars in all the Spanish language. For the past tense, past imperfecto. So out of 1,000 verbs, 997 of them will be aba, ia, just like you've practiced. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? That means in 10 minutes, you've learned to conjugate thousands and thousands and thousands of verbs in 10 minutes. That's why verb conjugation is so powerful. Because if you learn it, it opens up thousands and thousands of words. Okay. Everyone very excited about that? Say yes if you're very excited about that. All right, cool. All right, we're going to go through the other verb tenses a little more quickly now. Okay, but I wanted to put a lot of emphasis on this one because it's the easiest one. All right, I would say it's the easiest one to learn. It's just aba, ia. Okay, and it only has 3 irregulars. Okay, the others we're going to go through a little quicker, but you get the point. This is what it is. Spanish is not rocket science. It's just this. Okay, it's just doing this at full speed with hundreds of verbs can make your brain go crazy. Okay, when you're in the real world and you're thinking on your feet, doing all this math in your head is like, whoa. So this is not the end of the journey. This is the beginning of the journey for you. Okay, turning this into conversational Spanish requires many other steps. All right, but I want you to take away from today a belief that I can do this. It's not rocket science. It's había. Here we go. All right, the present tense. Okay, the present tense. Everyone, whoops, is it? Yes, there we go. Okay, cool. The present tense. All right. Hablar, we're going to do the AR verbs first. Okay. You can see the endings right here. Hablar, to talk. All right. Yo hablo, tú hablas, mi amigo habla, mis amigos hablan, nosotros hablamos. O, has, a, an, amos. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablan, hablamos. All right. So let's do some AR verbs. All right. Mirar. Okay. Everybody. I watch or I look. All right. All right. Charlotte's in. Okay. All right. Roberta, Judith. Okay. Carolyn. Sharon. Good. Yo miro. Good. Good. 2. Cocinar. You cook. Or maybe I'll just stick with mirar. We'll do this. Cocinar. You cook. Good. Cocinas. Tu cocinas. All right. All right. Mi vecino cocinar. Mi vecino, my neighbor cooks. My neighbor cooks. Mi vecino. My neighbor cooks. Mi vecino cocina. All right, singular. Cocina. Mis vecinos cocinar. Mis vecinos cocinar. My friends cook. You got it. All right. And nosotros cocinar. We cook. Nosotros cocinar. We cook. Good, good, good. All right. Beber. All right. Let's give you some other verb. Let's romper, to break. Okay. I break. I break. All right. Good. Yo rompo. Okay. You break. You break. Good. Tú rompes. Mi amigo. My friend breaks. Awesome. Mi amigo rompe. Mis amigos. My friends break. Mis amigos, my friends break. Mis amigos rompen. We break. We break. Good. We break. Nosotros rompemos. Good. Ir. Does anyone have an IR verb they want to do? Throw out an IR verb. Anyone know one off the top of your head? Vivir, yes, but we already have it there, so I'm going to change it up. It's actually hard to think of one that's not irregular, actually, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go with abrir. Escribir, good one, good one, escribir. Okay, escribir, perfect. All right. So Carolyn, decir is an IR verb, and so is pedir, Judith, but both of those are irregulars. So they'll go in irregular. So escribir, here we go. All right. I write. I write. I write. Yo escribo. You write. All right. Now, this may seem repetitive and it may seem easy. I'm giving you guys softballs here, but repetition is key. Seeing the patterns is key. Okay. Especially with a group of students of various levels. I want to keep this repetitive. It's very good for your brain. Repetition is good for your brain. Tú escribes. Okay. Mi amigo escribir. All right. My friend writes. Okay. My friend writes. Mi amigo escribe. Good. My friends write. My friends write a letter. My friends write to me every month, every week. Okay, mis amigos escriben. We write. Nosotros escribimos. Good. Okay. Down below, these are examples of irregulars. Okay. Estar, estoy, right? It's not esto, it's estoy. Tener, tengo. Or tienes. Ir, voy. So these guys are just irregulars, okay? And in the present tense, okay, we'll give another prize to somebody. How many irregulars out of 1,000 do you think there are in the present tense? Out of 1,000 verbs, how many irregulars in the present tense? All right. And I think Roberta knew the answer from before. It's closer to 300. Okay, it's somewhere between 250 and 300. So in the present tense, out of 1,000 verbs, yeah, that's why the present tense gives everyone so much trouble, and it discourages beginners because they're like, this makes no sense. I don't get it. There's all these weird rules. Well, that's because they taught you the hardest tense first. They didn't teach you Abba Iya first. They taught you the hard one first. All right, with hundreds and hundreds. So everyone thinks when they learn, all these beginners learn the present tense and they think, my God, if there's 34 more of these tenses to learn, I'll never learn Spanish. Right? But it's not true. The other verb tenses are much more similar to the first one we did, the past imperfecto. All right, cool. Here we go, future tense. All right. So technically, this one is, all right. You guys are, yes, Sharon. Yeah, it's discouraging to learn the present tense first. Okay, so on this tense, it's really interesting. Okay, so hablar, you remember the rule that I said you take away the ending, and then you add a subject, and then you add the new ending. So in the future, it would be haré. Hablar, hablaré. Okay, but an easier way to think about the future tense is has, an, hemos. You don't even have to, in the future tense, you don't even have to take away the ending. You just add the ending. Has, an, hemos. You just add it to the verb. Okay, hablar, hablaré. Comer, comeré. Vivir, viviré. Ganar, ganaré. Cocinar, cocinaré. Mirar, miraré. Okay? Has, an, hemos. That's it. And it's the same for all verbs. Doesn't matter if it's the hablar, comer, vivir, the AR, ER, IR verbs. All verbs, these are the 5 endings of the future tense. Right here. Okay? That is literally it. Okay, so everyone has that written down? All right, we're going to go to our flashcards and just play around with it. All right, so plural comenzar. My friends will begin. My friends will begin. Mis amigos. Charlotte's answer. Roberta's answer. Troy's answer. Sharon's answer. Judith's answer. You guys got it. All right.
Plural comenzarán.
Plural comenzarán. Mis amigos comenzarán.
Yo abrir.
Yo abrir. I will open. I will open. I will open. Charlotte, check that again. Check that again. I will open. Yeah, there you go.
Yo abriré.
Yeah, the future tense. Okay. You don't even need to delete the ending. You just add the ending. So, hablar, I will talk. Yo hablaré. You will talk. Tú hablarás. My friend will talk. Mi amigo hablará. My friends will talk. Mis amigos hablarán. We will talk. Nosotros hablaremos. I will eat. Yo comeré. Tú comerás. Mi amigo comerá. Mis amigos comerán. Nosotros comeremos. I will live. Yo viviré. Viviré. Tú vivirás. Mi amigo vivirá. Mis amigos vivirán. Nosotros viviremos. Okay.
Yo llevar.
Yo llevar, I will wear or I will carry. Llevar can mean some different things. Okay. I will wear or I will carry.
Yo llevaré.
Good.
Yo ver. Tú cambiar.
All right. You will change. Cambiar, to change. You will change. You got it, everybody. All right. Sharon, not quite. Who is the subject? Yo, tú, singular, plural, or nosotros? You will change. Okay. Yeah.
Tú cambiarás.
Tú cambiarás.
Yo ver.
All right. Good.
Singular pensar.
My friend will think. My friend will think. My friend will think. Pensar. Mi amigo. Pensar. My friend will think. Good, everybody. Got it. All right. You guys are flying through. You're through their second year of high school. Good job. Okay. You've gotten through your second year of high school already.
Singular pensará.
Mi amigo pensará. Okay. Awesome. Okay. That's the future. All right. The future has dozens of irregulars. Okay. But not hundreds. Not hundreds. Next up, conditional. All right. I always teach the future with the conditional because they conjugate in a very similar way. In both cases, the verb doesn't change. You just add an ending, and it's the same ending for all three verbs, for the ARs, the ERs, and the IRs. So in the future, you have as, an, amos. For the conditional, I would talk or I would eat. You have ia, ias, ia, ian, íamos. Okay. Hablar, hablaría. I would talk. Okay. I would talk. Yo hablaría. All right. You would talk. Tú hablarías. My friend would talk. Mi amigo hablaría. My friends would talk. Mis amigos hablarían. We would talk. Nosotros hablaríamos. So you might ask somebody, would you talk to the teacher? ¿Tú hablarías con el maestro? All right. Would you talk? All right. Would you eat with me? ¿Comerías conmigo? Would you eat with me? All right. Now, funny enough, the future and the conditional go together in sentences quite often. So if you say, would you eat with me? ¿Tú comerías conmigo? You would say, yes, I will eat with you. Sí, yo comeré contigo. All right. Would you eat with me? Yes, I will eat with you. Would you help me? Yes, I will help you. So oftentimes you see the future and conditional used in conversations together. Okay. All right. So you have it written down, ready to test? Okay, let's test it. Okay. Ayudar. Okay. I would help. I would help. I would help my friend. Okay. If I were there, I would help my friend. Muy bien. Ayudar. Yo ayudaría. Good. All right. You would help. You would help. All right. Would you help my friend? ¿Ayudarías a mi amigo? Muy bien. All right. Go. All right. My friend would go. My friend would go. My friend would go. My friend would go. Would you go? No, but my friend would go. Mi amigo iría. All right. All right. Would okay. I'm just gonna test people here. Quedarse. It's a reflexive verb. I'm just curious who knows reflexive verbs. All right. How would you say I would stay? I would stay. I would stay. I would stay. I would stay. We don't have reflexive verbs in English. They add this little say thing. What do we do with that? What do we do with that? Okay. I'm just giving you a little bonus lesson here on reflexive verbs. We don't have them in English. Don't try to translate it in English. Just think of it as like an extra, like your appendix. How do we really need it? I don't know. No one quite knows what it does. That's the reflexive piece. You take that away and you put it in front, okay? And then you translate or conjugate the verb as normal. So, yo quedaría. And then this thing changes depending on the subject. So for yo, it's me. Yo me quedaría. All right? And it would be tú te quedarías. Mi amigo, singular, se quedaría. My friend would stay. Plural, mis amigos se quedarían. My friends would stay. And we would stay. Nosotros nos quedaríamos. All right. Me, te, se, nos. And we don't have that in English. All right. There are some verbs with this extra little thing that makes it a reflexive verb. Instead of quedar, it's quedarse. All right. You might have heard ir is to go, but how many of you have heard yo me voy or me voy? How many of you have heard that? All right. That means to leave. Ir is to go, and irse is to leave. All right. How would you say I would leave? I would leave. I would leave. How would you do I would leave? We all got I would go. Yo iría, I would go. Okay. Yo iría, I would go. How would you say I would leave? All right. I would go. Yo iría. I would leave. Yo me iría. Okay, it's a reflexive verb. If you want to catch that, you can check in my free Facebook group for the reflexive verb. Sharon says you lost me totally. That's okay, Sharon. I was just testing if anyone knew about this stuff. Okay. This little piece right here, we don't have in English. It's like an appendix. It doesn't exist. So you do exactly what you do before with like yo iría, I would go. Yo iría, I would leave, but you just add this extra little thing that we don't have. There's no English translation for that. Okay, it's just in Spanish, maybe 20% of their verbs are reflexive verbs and 80% are not. So there's a workshop, Sharon, if you want to learn about that in our group, in the guides section, you will see Spanish workshops. Okay. You will see reflexive verbs, and that's where we talk about those guys. Okay. We don't have those in English, but they are very common in Spanish. All right. But Sharon and everybody, you guys were getting it. So that's why I threw in a little monkey wrench there just to spice things up. But you guys were all getting it. Any questions on the conditional? Ia, ias, ia, ian, íamos. Good. All right. Yes, I messed with your brain a little bit. Okay. So like I said, what you're getting here is 4 years of high school knowledge, but putting it all together and lots of little details to get conversational. There's a lot more that it takes. I wouldn't give away my whole program for free if I thought this was all there was to Spanish, right? I'm giving you a guide and a belief that yes, it's possible. It's not rocket science, but to get to that end goal, okay, there's a lot more that is necessary to put it all together and get to the real world of conversation, right? But I just want to take the mystery out of it for you and be like, oh, okay, there's some logic here. There's some structure here. Okay. All right. We're going down to our last, how many more we got? It's 12:30. We have preterito, progressive, perfect. So 3 more. And then if we have time, a 4th. All right. Good. Okay. Preterito. I'm going to save that for last. Okay. Because that's the hardest. All right. So I'm going to switch that one up to last. All right. We'll come back to that one. All right. Muy bien. All right. Good. Anybody need a comment or question real quick? 1 minute, but before we start the next one, anybody? All good? All right. Need tequila. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, don't put the pressure on yourself that, ooh, I have to learn all this today. No, that's not what's going to happen. All right. What's going to happen is it's a window. It's a window into this world. And it's like taking the mystery out a little bit. And it's like, oh, okay, I can do it. I can learn it. But to really turn it into like conversational, there's more to it. But this is really the heart and soul of conversational Spanish. All right, here we go. Progressive. Okay. In English, the progressive tense, think of it as the ings. I'm walking, talking, eating, drinking, moving, cooking, sleeping. Ing. In English, it's very, very easy. All we do is put ing at the end. Okay. All we need to do, good job, Roberta. Okay. All we need to do is put ing at the end. In Spanish, they have 2 ings. They have ando and yendo. So we have ing, they have ando and yendo. That's it. That's literally it. Hablar, hablando. Comer, comiendo. Vivir, viviendo. Talking, eating, living. Okay? Hablando, comiendo, viviendo. All right? That is it. Okay? Now, you also need something in front of it because I don't say I talking. You have to know I am talking. So we have to know the verb estar. Okay? So estar means to be. I am, you are, he is, they are, we are. am, is, are. Okay, the to be verb. All right, in Spanish, they have ser and a star. For this tense, with the progressive tense, the ings, it's all a star. We don't use ser. So, yo estoy hablando, I am talking. Estoy hablando, I am. Estoy is I am. Yo estoy, I am. Talking, hablando. You are talking, tú estás hablando. My friend is talking, mi amigo está hablando. My friends are talking, mis amigos están hablando. And we are talking, nosotros estamos hablando. Okay, estoy, estás, está, están, estamos. All right, I am. All right, I am eating. Yo estoy comiendo. You are eating. Tú estás comiendo. My friend is eating. Mi amigo está comiendo. My friends are eating. Mis amigos están comiendo, and we are eating. Nosotros estamos comiendo. So just like in English, the ing doesn't change. It doesn't matter who is it. I'm talking, you're talking, they're talking, we're talking, talking. There is no other thing. And same with Spanish. Hablando, 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 hablando. Comiendo, 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 comiendo. That's it. Ando, comiendo. Okay? So here we go. Okay. Caminar. Okay. I am walking. I am walking. Good. Yo estoy caminando. Good. You are walking. You are walking. Good. Tú estás caminando. Good. My friend is walking. My friend is walking. Mi amigo. Caminar. My friend is walking. Got it. Mi amigo está caminando. Good. All right. And my friends are walking. Good. Mis amigos están caminando. And we are walking. We are walking. We are walking. Nice. Okay. Good. Muy bien. All right. Let's go to the flashcards. All right. All right. To dejar. All right. You are leaving something behind. All right. Like you're leaving your jacket behind. You're leaving the money behind. You're leaving your car behind. You're leaving your keys behind. All right. Awesome, Troy. So Troy, as I said, you can go to the group for the replay. And if you want to talk about your Spanish with me personally, send me a message or send me your contact email and we'll get in touch. And yeah, awesome. Glad you made it. Absolutely. Okay. Tú estás dejando.
Tú estás dejando.
You are leaving something behind. Okay. Tú estás dejando. All right. Good. All right. Mi amigo, my friend is looking. My friend is looking. All right. Nice, Sharon. Good. Mi amigo está buscando is to be looking for something. All right. Está mirando is looking at something.
Singular está mirando.
All right. Muy bien. Good. Awesome. Continuing on. Any questions on progressive tense? Okay. I didn't do many yendos. Let me do one yendo. A lot of AR verbs. Sharing. All right. My friend is sharing. My friend is sharing. My friend is sharing. All right. Compartiendo. Good.
Singular está compartiendo.
There you go. Awesome. All right. Perfect tense. Okay. I am walking. I have walked. So the perfect tense is the walked, talked, cooked. Okay. The ed. Okay. I have walked. I have talked. Now, in English, we have a lot of irregulars for this tense. But the regular in English is ed. I have walked, talked, cooked. Okay. Prepared. All right. I have walked. All right. The ed. Walk, walked. All right. So the ed in English, okay. In Spanish, it's oído, talked. Okay. Hablado, hablar, hablado. So eaten, comer, comido. So it's oído and ido. Hablado, talked, comer, comido, eaten, lived, vivido. Hablado, comido, vivido. Ado, ido. Okay? Ado, ido. All right, that's it. It's either ado or ido. I have walked, I have talked, I have cooked, I have watched, I have looked. Okay, oído. That's it. And then there's this I have. Okay, so you need to know I have, you have, he has. You have to know that part. Okay. All right. Awesome, Sharon. Way to go. Okay, and Heather, if you guys have questions, send me your contact information. Okay. And let me know. And I'm happy to talk to you about your goals. Like everybody who's watching this replay as well. I'll just mention it before we finish. Right. This is our free group. Okay. Just apply to join Flash Conversational Spanish for Beginners and Intermediates. Okay. I encourage everybody to ask lots of questions in the group. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to answer your Spanish questions. And then just shoot me a message. Okay, there's my name. Click on it. Send me a message. Send me your contact information. Ask me questions. What are your Spanish goals? Let's get you speaking conversational Spanish this year. Let's make this your year. Okay, it's worth it. It's worth it. The friends, the relationships, everything is worth it. Okay, so cool. So it's just Judith and Charlotte left. Awesome, you guys. So you can unmute yourself since it's just the two of you. Okay. And we'll finish up here. So I have is yo a. All right. This is not I have like tener, yo tengo. This is only for this tense. Okay. I have walked, I have talked, I have eaten. Yo he, tú has, singular a, plural on, nosotros hemos. Has, han, hemos. I have talked, yo he hablado. You have talked, tú has hablado. My friend has talked, mi amigo ha hablado. My friends have talked, mis amigos han hablado, and we have talked, nosotros hemos hablado. Okay, so here we go. Good. Cocina, beber. Okay, yo beber. All right. I'll just do it verbally. Judith, I have drank.
He bebido.
He bebido. Yo he bebido. Good. All right. Good. Charlotte, to conseguir. You have gotten a taxi. You have gotten a book.
Tú has conseguido.
That's right. Tú has conseguido. We
Just
need-
sorry for my camera, but it won't start again, so I
That's
have
okay.
to stay like this.
That's okay. All good. All right. Good. So now let's go to our flashcards. All right. And perfect tense. All right. Here we go. All right. You have helped. Judith, you have helped.
Has ayuda. You have helped.
Yeah.
Has ayudado.
Tú has ayudado. Good. All right. Charlotte, we have taught. We have taught classes.
Nosotros enseñar.
Hemos enseñado.
Yes.
Nosotros hemos
Oh.
enseñado.
I forgot the hemos. Nosotros hemos enseñado. Okay. Going back to that chart, right? Yo he, tú has, mi amigo ha, mis amigos han, nosotros hemos. Okay. I have, yo he. He, has, ha, han, hemos. Okay. The verb comes from haber. It's an irregular verb. Okay. And it has a lot of useful but very irregular verb. But it's a good one. All right. Has, han, hemos. All right. Charlotte. I have my friends have shared, Charlotte.
Han compartido.
Yeah.
Plural han compartido.
Mis amigos han compartido. Good. Judith. My John has watched.
John has watched.
Yeah.
Mirado.
Good.
Singular ha mirado.
All right. Good. Now, if I do sentences, this would challenge you to the next level. Okay.
Juan has begun the lesson.
All right. Charlotte. Juan has begun the lesson.
Juan ha empezado la clase o la lección.
Good. La clase, la lección. So, empezado, not empezado.
Ha empezado
Okay.
la clase.
Or comenzado. Both work.
Juan ha comenzado la lección.
I would say comenzar means more to begin, and empezar is more to start. Okay.
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 We have wanted ice cream.
All right, Judith, we have wanted ice cream.
Hemos querido helado.
Helado.
Nosotros hemos querido helado.
Juan has worn a shirt.
All right. Charlotte, Juan has worn a shirt.
Juan ha llevado
Good.
una
Juan ha
camisa.
llevado una camisa.
All right. Camisa, camiseta, remera, etc. Good. All right. So you can see how we do this in our school. We have a video where you teach it. We have flashcards where you practice it. And then we have unlimited classes from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Pacific time every day, Monday through Friday. We have tons of different classes going on Monday through Friday, and you can go to unlimited amounts of classes. We have private one-on-one classes. We have group classes, small groups, like 1 to 5 people groups. So for anyone watching the replay, as well as, right, Judy and Charlotte, again, this is about our private program. So if you like this class, if you like this workshop, if you like our style of teaching in the class, it would look more like, I'll show you at the end how a class would look, because what we're doing here is all lecture, whereas the class, it's all practice. Okay, so you have videos, flashcards, and live classes for practice. Good. Any questions on the perfect tense?
All good for me.
Good. All right. We're not going to spend time just because we're short on time, but this is the combination of the perfect and the progressive. So you have, I am talking, I have talked, and this is I have been talking. Yo he estado hablando. Yo he, I have. Estado, been, comes from estar. I have been. Yo he estado, I have been. And then talking, hablando. Tu has estado hablando, you have been talking. Okay, so this is a combination of the perfect and the progressive. Okay, we won't have time to practice that, but just so you know, I have been talking. Yo he estado hablando. You have been talking. Tu has estado hablando. My friend has been talking. Mi amigo ha estado hablando. My friends have been talking. Mis amigos han estado hablando. And we have been talking. Nosotros hemos estado hablando. All right. Good. Any questions on that one?
Not really.
Last one of the 8, pretérito. This is usually the second one everybody learns. Usually present is followed by pretérito, and it's, along with the present, the hardest to learn. So the first 2 tenses every student learns are the 2 hardest tenses to learn, because it has the most irregulars. All right, out of 1,000 verbs, it probably has 200 or 300 irregulars as well, like present. Okay, whereas the others have dozens, not hundreds. Okay, so the other thing that's a little challenging about this is it's a little more random. These endings are a little bit more random, so people tend to struggle with this more. Okay, so you have the AR verbs, hablar, I talked, yo hablé, you talked, tu hablaste, my friend talked, mi amigo habló, my friends talked, mis amigos hablaron, and we talked, nosotros hablamos. Okay, hablé, hablaste, habló, hablaron, hablamos. All right, so write down those endings for the AR verbs. And then for the ER, IR verbs, comer, I ate, yo comí, you ate, tú comiste, my friend ate, mi amigo comió, my friends ate, mis amigos comieron, and we ate, nosotros comimos. Okay, comí, comiste, comió, comieron, comimos. Viví, viviste, vivió, vivieron, vivimos. Iste, yo, oyeron, oímos. Okay, so these are the endings of the pretérito. We're not going to talk in this class about the difference between the 2 past tenses. In Spanish, they have the aba, yo hablaba, yo comía, that past tense, I talked. And then hablé, comí, viví, also past tense. All right. And we're not going to talk about the difference in this workshop. All right, but you have I talked, yo hablé, and I talked, yo hablaba. Okay, so there is a difference in French. Like Charlotte speaks French, it's going to be easy for you. Okay.
What would you say is the most used of the past tense?
50-50.
Okay. Because I feel like here in Mexico, they're using a lot this one, the past perfecto, rather than the imperfecto.
It's 50-50. It's just totally dependent on the situation.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're talking about what you did yesterday, it'll be this one more often.
Okay.
All right. But if you're telling a story, it could go either way.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So awesome. And that's why most teachers teach this first. But here's the deal. All right. What is our goal in conversational Spanish? Well, it's to be able to communicate. They understand you, you understand them. So if you only learned the aba ias and you never learned this one, they'd understand you 100%.
Okay.
You would be 100% fine. Okay. So now with a very easy tense, you can be understood. That's great. Versus a hard tense with a lot of irregulars, I'd rather learn the easy one first. Right?
Yeah,
In
that's
terms
hard.
of understanding them, okay, yeah, you'll understand half of them and half you won't, but might as well learn the easy half first.
For sure.
Okay. Cool. So let's just do a little pretérito, finish it off here. All right, you guys are troopers. All right. What did you do yesterday, Charlotte? Give me a few things you did. Tell me 3 things you did yesterday in English.
In English or I write in Spanish?
English.
I went to have breakfast in a restaurant.
Okay.
I watched the semi-final.
Okay.
And
Good job.
I
France.
ate chicken.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to give you one. I went to have breakfast. There's a verb called desayunar. Do you know this verb?
Yeah.
Okay. To eat breakfast. All right. And then you ate dinner. So that's cenar.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm picking these because these are regulars. Okay. So that's why.
Okay.
Okay. So yo desayunar. Okay.
Yo desayuné.
Good. Okay. Yo desayuné. All right. You ate breakfast.
Yeah.
How would you say that?
Desayunaste.
Yes. How about my friend ate breakfast?
Desayunó.
Okay. Desayunó. My friends ate breakfast.
Sorry, what?
My friends ate breakfast.
Desayunaron.
And we ate breakfast.
Desayunamos.
Good. Okay. All right. Judith, what did you do yesterday? Give me a few things.
Studied Spanish,
Studied. Good.
worked on a painting project, so painted,
Good. Nice.
slept.
Good. All right. That's an irregular. So I'm going to go with these guys first.
Okay,
Okay. I painted.
so pinte,
Good. You painted.
pintaste,
My friend painted.
pinto.
Pintó. My
Pintor.
friends painted.
Pintaron.
Yeah. And we painted.
Pintamos.
That's right. Okay. All right. Good. Charlotte, I ate dinner.
Yo cené,
Mhm.
cenaste,
And yeah, thank you. You're ahead of me. You ate dinner.
cenaste,
Yeah. My friend ate dinner.
ceno,
Uh-huh. And my friends ate dinner.
cenaron,
Good. And we ate dinner.
cenamos.
Good. All right. How about abrir? All right. Abrir and beber, some different verbs. So Judith, I opened the store.
Abre.
All right. Take a look. Is it an A-R-E-R?
I'm sorry, abre.
Abrir.
It's an IR, so it's abre.
Good. And you opened the letter.
Abriste.
Good. My friend opened the bottle.
Abrió.
Abrió. All right. My friends opened the door.
Abrieron.
Yeah. And we opened the box.
Abriamos.
Take a look.
Abrimos. It's abrimos.
Abrimos. Good. Good. All right. Charlotte, I drink.
Yo bebí,
You drank.
bebiste,
We drank.
uh,
I'm switching it up on you.
yeah, bebimos,
Good. All right. They drank.
bebieron,
And my friend drank.
bebió.
Good. Okay. Congratulations, you guys. You have in 2 hours completed 4 years of high school Spanish.
Awesome.
Okay, how do you feel?
Yeah, good. I feel like it's hard to pinpoint the tenses and I easily lose my everything I know when I start speaking. I start like blah 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 because it can be really overwhelming.
Yes.
But I feel like it's good to like put them back to back so you can see the difference rather than studying present and then 3 months later studying past. So you like back to back, you see more the difference or even sometimes the common points in between them. So it's easier. I'm happy with the class. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And you bring up a great point. And if anybody, hopefully lots of people watch this replay, but for just you guys here, when we teach our classes are different from our lectures. So a lecture is like what we just did. Our class is all about practice, and we practice differently. Okay, so let me show you how we would practice in a class with our teachers, okay, with myself and our team. We would pull up the class, all right, and this is in the small group classes. And in the world of Spanish, there's really 2 options, one-on-ones and group classes. And there's pros and cons to each. In a one-on-one, you get to do what you want to do every second. In a group class, you tend to get more class availability and more structure and more resources. And so there's pros and cons, right? Well, we combine them. We give you videos and flashcards to study on your own. And then you come to this class and practice live. We also have one-on-ones, that's a different thing, but you come to the little group class to practice live, and there will be 3, 4, 5 people in the class doing different tenses. Okay? So pretend, Charlotte, what tense would you like to practice right now?
The last one we did, the
Okay.
pretérito.
All right, perfect. So Charlotte's going to do pretérito. And Judith, what tense would you like to practice?
The future.
Future. Okay, so you see, you both are doing different tenses, but now I want you to see how a class would feel with different students doing different tenses at the same time. All right, so Charlotte, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
I answered the telephone.
Yo contesté el
Mhm.
teléfono.
Good. Charlotte, tu amiga contestó el teléfono. Tu amiga
Sí,
contestó el teléfono.
contesté. Sí, no, sí.
Okay, yes, just give me a, like, yes, she answered the phone. Give me a,
Ah, ok. Sí, ella contestó
yeah.
el
Sí,
teléfono.
ella contestó el teléfono. Muy bien. Charlotte, okay. ¿A qué hora llegaste al aeropuerto? ¿A qué hora llegaste?
Ah, llegué al aeropuerto a las 4.
Okay, good. Now, I kind of got away with something here. This is an irregular. Yo llegué, but it's only an irregular in the spelling.
Ah,
They
ok.
just change the spelling so that it makes the sound. Llegué. Okay. Judith. Okay, good. I asked a question. I will ask a question. I will ask a question.
Preguntaré.
Good. All right. Judith, ¿qué preguntarás? ¿Qué preguntarás, Judith?
Do you want me to answer in the
Sí.
future or any
Sí.
tense?
Well, think about it. If I say, ¿qué preguntarás? What am I asking?
Oh, what will you ask?
That's right. So
Or
how
what,
would you
yeah,
answer that?
what will you ask? So I would respond, preguntaré la hora de la próxima clase.
All right. Muy bien. Excelente. Okay. Yo preguntaré. Okay. All right. Pedir. Okay. Judith. Okay. What
Mhm.
will you order?
So
How
it's,
would you say that? What will you order?
okay, it's not irregular in the future, so it would just be pediré.
Okay, good. So how would you ask me, what will you order? I want you to ask me the question.
¿Qué pedir? ¿Qué pedirás?
Good. All right. And how would you answer it? ¿Qué pedirás? How would you answer? ¿Qué pedirás?
Pediré el mole.
Okay. All right. So do you see how working with other people on other tenses is beneficial?
Mhm.
Okay. So even though you're sacrificing a little personal time by being with other people, you're benefiting because it's more like the real world where you get to preview and review all 8 tenses every single day, even ones you might not have studied yet. Okay. And so by doing that, if you do that, you're not going to forget them in 3 months. Like you said, you're not going to study the present tense and 3 months later forget it, because you're doing all 8 tenses every day. You're seeing them, you're hearing them, right? And so by doing it in small groups, you're actually benefiting. Okay, and that's the way we organize our classes in a very unique way, so that everybody benefits each other when they're practicing together. And we do that with everything, with our reading, listening, vocabulary, conversation classes, all the different classes. We have lots of different classes that each one has its own unique style to it. We have glue words classes, vocabulary, verbs, reading, listening, and conversation classes going all day, every day. All right. And they're all effective just like that. You're constantly practicing different skills, okay, together with other people that are doing similar skills. So it reinforces what you're learning, okay? You converse, you talk to each other, all right? So that's it, all right? Any questions from you guys? Any questions?
No.
Yes, so you said that to get the replay, I didn't really get it, like through the Facebook group, or will you send an email, or how
In
does
the
this work?
Facebook group, okay?
Okay,
So the replay is in this group here, all right? Fast Conversational Spanish for Beginners and Intermediate.
yeah, I send a request at the beginning of the class.
Okay, good, perfect. So the replay will be in there. Other workshops will be in there.
Okay,
And then if you want to take your Spanish to the next level, if you're motivated, and anyone watching this replay as well, right? We're at the new year. Is a good time to start. The best time is always now. Why wait till the new year? We have a special free month, a whole month free, if anyone signs up in December. So an entire free month. So heavily encourage you, if you're trying to learn conversational Spanish, to shoot me a message, you know, and we'll look at your goals and we'll come up with a plan that fits your goals. And if it looks good, then awesome. Otherwise, we'll give you guidelines on what you need. So shoot me any contact. If you have questions, I'm here. That's my name. It's in the group. You will see me. Our coaches are awesome. Okay. And the group is great. Ask questions in the group as well. Post questions, post comments. We'll get them there. So
okay,
muy bien, muy bien.
okay.
All right, awesome. Gracias por asistir a la clase.
Gracias a ti.
Gracias, Titi.
Muy bien. Anything else before we sign out?
No, thank you.
All good apart from yes, thank you.
Gracias. Nos vemos pronto.
Sí, hasta luego.
If you're watching this video, it means you really want to learn conversational Spanish, whether it's for dating, friendships, relationships, or just to immerse in the culture. I promise you, vale la pena. It's worth it. But I have to be honest with you. My workshops alone will not get you there. These are pieces in a much bigger puzzle. This is the easy part of the journey, the academic part. You need more. You need immersion. You need daily practice with native speakers who will help correct you and guide you, but also make it feel real. You need accountability, someone to keep track of you, keep you motivated, and make sure you're not falling behind. Those are the things that will give you confidence to go out there and talk to everyone. That's where the real learning begins. So if you want to be able to do this in the real world, let's chat. I'll show you why 99% of expats and travelers fail to ever get conversational, and why we succeed, and how we're going to succeed specifically with you, with your life, your schedule, your level, your goals. Mention the secret word, vamos, for a limited lifetime guarantee, where if you join our program, we'll make sure you get to your goals at no extra cost. If you finish the program and you haven't reached your goals, you continue working with us for free. It's a guarantee. El español te va a cambiar la vida. Nos vemos pronto. Vamos.